All right, we live. We good, T? Good? Okay. All right. It's good again. My boy. Hey, T, make sure we get pain too. There we go. All right. All right, tap in, man. This is SportsBetters Media. I am Hip Hop Mag, C11 Studios. I got Terrell, man, aka T-Rex, man. Let's give it up for him one time.
Good, y'all.
Hey, the best podcast in the Carolinas. You hear me?
I
How
hear
you
you.
feeling today, T-Rex?
I feel good, man. Feel good. I can't complain.
Good. Now
Beautiful
tell us
day.
where you're from and what area code you're repping, Jack.
I'm originally from Troy, New York, but
Okay.
I live in Harlem. Been in Harlem many years, so this is my home right here. Yep.
Hey man, Harlem, man. That's what it is, man. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Harlem,
big time
man.
repping, man.
There's no place in the world like Harlem, man. The food, the culture, the people. It's just so much history here.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's big facts. Okay. Anybody you want to give a shout out before we get started, Big Money?
Nah, not really. Shout out to everybody.
Right.
Shout out to everybody, man.
That's right. Hey, that's with ease. All right, I got my co-host with me tonight, the official Lil Payne, fresh out of DC.
Hey.
What up, Lil Bad?
What's up, man?
DC. I'm always in DC.
For real?
Big facts.
Yeah, I'm always in that area.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, tap in, man. DC in the building. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, now tell us a little bit about the work you do in the industry, T-Rex.
Man, I've been in the music business for so long, and I've done so many things. About 20 years now, I've been in the music business, and I started as a background singer for Life Jennings.
Come on, man.
Before he became big, I started working with Life as a background singer, and he actually the person that gave me the name T-Rex. I would have never thought to call myself that.
Come on,
but
Jennings, man.
So yeah, I started out with Life Jennings about 2002, just singing background, and as he blew up, he took me around the world with him. I became his background singer, and then fast forward, I ended up becoming his assistant. I started dibbling dabbing, behind the scenes with the business, and then I became the road manager.
That's crazy.
And then
man.
I started managing and working with other groups, like Day 26, Shalik. Then I started singing with other artists, like Neo, going on the road. The industry is not that big, and like once you get in it, and people see you, and they could, you're a good guy. People want to work with you. You can put your name can travel around pretty fast.
That's
so. From working with Life, I got the Neo call. Then from Neo to Mario, and then Dave Hollister. So it just kept going on and on and on and on. So I have been in the music business for a while, just like working behind the scenes and managing different artists, going on tours with different artists, Wyclef. It's just so many I've done over the past 20 years. And recently, about a few years ago, I decided, I was like, you know what, it's time for me to put out some music myself. I honestly didn't even plan on like being no artist. I was so kind of just like in my zone with what I was doing behind the scenes, and I was good, But I believe that when God has called you to do something, man, you can only kind of run from it, but for so long, especially if you want to see the fullness of who you are and enjoy the fullness of life. You you got to step into your calling, or you'll never get to see the fullness of it.
Right.
So I started doing music, and I'm from the church. I grew up in the church, and I love hip hop and I love R&B. So I was just trying to figure out a way how I could put all the genres together. In church, they always made us feel kind of like it was the R&B music was kind of like devil's music.
Yeah. Facts.
Not necessarily. I didn't necessarily believe that. And I had a conversation with my pastor one day, and I was like, Pastor, am I going to hell for singing R&B music? And he was like, no. He was like, you think with me and my wife getting ready to get it on, we listen to Jesus is climbing up the rough side of the mountain? He was like, nah. He said, we listen to Marvin Gaye. He's like, it's all about your heart. God looks at the heart and your lifestyle.
That's right.
So that's when I came up with R&G, rhythm and gospel. And that's when we came up with a whole new genre, and I just kind of like mixed the two sounds together. And that wasn't always being done. I always give big shots to Kirk Franklin.
Come on, man.
Because Kirk was doing this a while ago, and nobody kind of really didn't understand him.
Yeah.
But but I think with me it's just a little different because like I'm a little bit more relatable to the hood, like, and it's not as churchy as that. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So it's just the whole swag on it. So we started doing R&G, rhythm and gospel, and I put out a record called In His Image, and it's just taken off since then.
Yeah.
So that's where we at now, man. We just out. We got the rhythm and gospel. We putting out music. It's all over the world. It's all on radio stations. I just got my first number one record, and just got nominated for some Stellar Awards. So it's moving.
Come on.
Yeah.
So that's a quick, summary. It's so much more. It's hard for me to explain it all in like a few seconds, but that's the gist of it.
Yeah. That's what it is, T-Rex, man. That's what it do.
That's a lot.
Okay, that's legendary, man. Especially Life Jennings, man. Say no more.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, now tell us, what was it like growing up in New York, man, and how has it changed in the past 20 years, man, as far as music, man?
Man, when I first got into the music business, I was from upstate New York, and which is totally different than New York City. If you say New York, everybody always think New York City, but there's like country places, there's not so city places. But this was the place to come. If you wanted to get a record deal or you wanted to get on, everybody was running to New York City. You had all the labels were here. This was just a place to come at that time.
Right.
And as time started going on, I mean, New York started being kind of like less relevant to come to.
Okay.
People started more going to Atlanta. The labels started packing up and moving. There's hardly any record labels here now. So the music scene here is still here.
But it ain't like it was back then.
It ain't like it was. It ain't like it was, man. We got Dave East in Harlem. We got
right.
You got ASAP. But it ain't. The industry not really here like it used to be, man.
Yeah, man. We talking about the Fat Joes, the Ja Rules, the 50 Cents, man. The list goes on, man.
Yeah. New York, Brooklyn, between Brooklyn, Queens, and everybody out here, everybody's still out here doing their thing.
Prodigy, man. Prodigy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this, just nobody's running here like they used to get on.
Yeah. That's crazy. Okay. And like I said, I got my partner with me, Lil Payne, man, fresh out of DC. He's an artist as well, man. You want to, ask some questions, man?
I'm asking some questions, man. You've been to DC, right? So, you ate a Ben's chili bowl before?
Nah.
For real? So, where you been at in DC then?
I come to DC, do concerts, and I go.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've been coming to DC like 20 years now. And I do theater. I do plays. You know, like those Tyler Perry plays.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've been going back and forth for a while. I don't really know a lot about the culture of DC.
Yeah,
Right.
But I'm always in DC. So tell me, what is it?
Oh yeah, man. So Ben Chili Bowl, it's a restaurant. They sell hot dogs and burgers and fries.
Well, see, I don't eat meat, so
you
I
don't.
wouldn't. That'd probably be the last place I go.
And let me tell you something, right? Because God is amazing, man. Especially when you're in alignment, man. Because we just got the car with my partner T-Rex, and he was saying the same thing, like, you know, that he don't eat meat, and it's a spiritual thing, man. It's a spiritual journey. You know what I mean? Just kind of just cutting down on the vices. You know, whether it's smoking, drinking, meat, you know, whether it's just too much anything. You know, just keeping it, you know, at a balance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think everybody's different, man. You know, you find out what worked for your body, because I know some people that have to eat it. You know what I mean? Or you know, or something will be wrong with them. So you kind of just figure out what works for you, and you run with that. And just not eating meat, just like it works for me.
Right. Facts, man. It's all spiritual, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hey, T-Rex in the building. That's big facts, man. All right. Name some big names that you work with in the industry, man. Some big names. Talk to us.
Well, I mean, the biggest name to me is because I'm a big fan of his, and that's Dave Hollister. I don't know if y'all know who Dave Hollister is, but he started in Blackstreet with Teddy Riley.
Okay.
Lately, I've been thinking something's going on. I grew up a big fan of Dave. Like, I wanted to be like Dave, wear my do-rag like Dave, like talk like Dave. I just felt like he was like the hood preacher. Like, and the ladies loved him, the fellas loved him. So you know, years later, when I got the call to actually like go on tour with him as a background singer, like that was just crazy to me. And then recently, now I'm going out with him as an opening act. Yeah. So Dave Hollister, big up to Dave Hollister and Teddy Riley and all of them. But for me, working with Dave was just like crazy. And you know what? I don't work with so many people. I can't. Sometimes I don't even be remembering like exactly who. But I know Dave was one of the top guys. Of course, Life Jennings. Like, Life taught me everything. He taught me, you know, because even though I was singing background, I was doing a lot of stuff that background singers wasn't doing.
That's
He was taking me to label meetings, you know, all his radio meetings. You know, that was my boy. When I met him, he had just came home from doing 10 years in prison. And he didn't have a lot of friends and stuff like that. So because I was singing background with him, like we became family. We was always on the road together. We was always traveling together. So Life taught me a lot about the business. So Life Jennings, man, I just learned a lot from Life. I mean, all the artists I've worked with, Wyclef, that was just like another. I didn't even know Wyclef knew who I was. You know what I mean? So to hear that Wyclef is asking about you, like the legendary Wyclef, like the Fugees, Lauryn Hill, you know, they started with Beyonce and Destiny's Child. So Wyclef, that was another, to be on stage singing with Wyclef Jean was amazing. Yeah, and it's a bunch of others. I can't even think. Neo, that was another guy. I actually did MTV Unplugged with Neo, and at the time they had stopped doing MTV Unplugged, and that was like one of the things that I wanted to do. So when they called me, I was like, "What is it for?" They was like, "MTV Unplugged." I was like, "Get out of here!" So that was like crazy because and it's still on TV to this day. I still see it like just playing and playing. But being on at the time, you know what? Sometimes, bro, when things happen, you be so caught up into work mode, and you just be working. You don't really be understanding like what's happening. So at the time, I wasn't caring about really that. I really didn't even understand what I was doing. I was just working. I just wanted to work, and I was just working. But now I can sit back and be like, wow, I was out on MTV Unplugged with Neo. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it do. Hey, tap in. Hey, and speaking of working, T-Rex, tell us about the new projects you got working, man. The new album you got out called The Package. Excuse me.
Yeah, man. My first album, debut album, I put out myself. And it's a mixture of hip hop, gospel, traditional. It's just a mixture of just all kinds of different kind of music. That's why I call it The Package, because I mean, really, that's what it is. I got a record on there with my guys from Day 26, Robert Curry. Big up to Robert Curry. We got T-Soul from The Voices on there. My boy Sadir. And I collaborated with a bunch of hip hop rappers. That's real big in like the gospel hip hop field. But the album is great, man. It's been out a year, and I've been touring on it. And like I said, I just made the ballot for 4 Stellar Awards. And like, if you don't know the Stellar Awards, that's like the gospel Grammys.
Come on,
like,
dude. Come on, dude. We ain't got to tell this dude. You a legend.
Yeah, it don't go no higher than the Stellar Awards.
Come on,
so
man. Come on, man.
Yeah, so the album doing good, man. And I just been out here touring the last year. I released a song. The first single was called The Storm. And The Storm I did in a play in DC. I did it for a play that I was doing in DC called The Storm is a Ministry. And when the play was over, I was just like, man, that song was too good to just let it go with the play. So I called the people and I'm like, yo, y'all gotta let me have that song on my album. Even though I wrote it, I wrote it to give it for the play. So, and they was like, yeah, take it. And we went to my boy Dallas Frazier, big up to Dallas Frazier.
Yeah.
And we sent it to the radio in like 3 weeks. It was #1.
Come on, man.
Oh, yeah,
with ease.
Yeah, they was like, yo, Rex, this is crazy. They called me the first week, it was like 180 something. I was like, oh God, we got a long journey. Long journey ahead of us. The second week it was like 50 something, and then the next week it was #1.
That's crazy.
That's up,
hey,
man.
let's give it up to T-Rex one time.
Man.
This is I Am Hip Hop, man. Sports Betters.
Yeah, man, it's still crazy. Like, just to see your name in the #1 spot, like on the Bill BDS chart, like it's just it's amazing, man. So it was there for 2 weeks. I got my first plaque. Sirius XM, Kirk Franklin. I mean, everybody was just playing the record. It kind of just like brought me to just a whole nother dominion, because I think once you get on radio, and you get a hit record, like people, it just changes your life.
Right. Yeah.
And that's exactly what it did. It changed my life.
Hey, big life changes. Okay, now tell us how you got nominated for that Gospel Minute Hip Hop Awards, man. Talk to us about that.
You talking about the Gospel Hip Hop Awards?
Yeah, man, that's big time.
Yeah, that's another award show. I mean, it's not just the Stellar Awards; it's just a whole plethora of gospel. I'm actually like that award show is in 2 weeks in Atlanta.
Baby, yes.
Yeah, the Gospel Hip Hop Awards. I got like 2 or 3 nominations for that, and they just gospel hip hop is big right now. Like, come on, dude. These guys is not that it's about the money, but you say you don't think that gospel hip hop is, these guys is out here making money, but they making more money than these cats that's not doing it. So it's like it's a big move right now, like the gospel hip hop. And it's not necessarily talking about Jesus, 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 Jesus. You know, gospel just mean the good news. It's just talk. It could be about anything, life struggles, life stories.
Yeah.
And it's big now. So they started doing this gospel hip hop show, and now it's one of the biggest gospel hip hop award shows out there.
Yeah.
So that's next week in the A.
Dude, man,
Like 2 weeks in the A. So I'll be down there. Huh?
Yeah. I said, my bad, but you performed everywhere though. When you did shows at the BET Awards, I mean, you done did it. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah. So now I'm just doing it by myself. You know, I've been a lot of places perform, a lot of people with the artists, but now being the artist is just a whole nother game. You know, when you in the background and you're singing, like, you kind of get away with a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could be back there and drunk, high, just mind my, you know, you don't got to be all dressed, you know, to par, but now being the artist, like, you got to be on point.
Hey, so, and listen, T-Rex, and I talk to a lot of people in the industry, man. Is it wicked as they say it is? You say yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. I mean, who originated? Where did all the money? Where did all this music money come from? You know, I don't want to get on here and start talking about people's business and stuff like that. Right. We know who's funded a lot of the music business.
Okay.
So it doesn't come from a pure place.
Facts.
You know, so
yeah.
But you could either get caught up in it, or you know, you could. I know a lot of guys are strong-minded, won't sell their soul. You know,
yeah.
And I just seen a lot, so it taught me what to do, what not to do. Like, I'm a loner. I'll be by myself. I don't hang out with a bunch of friends every day. Like,
right.
You know, you see me online, it might look like that, but I'm always by myself, man.
Good.
And yeah, I just try to stay positive and try to stay loved by it, and not get caught up in fame. You know, it's like, whatever you do, you have to do it because of purpose, not because you're trying to be famous. Because it's a whole bunch of stuff that come along with fame.
Yeah, it's scary.
Drive you crazy. I say this all the time. When Michael Jackson, he was the richest man in the world. When he died, he was by himself. When Prince died, he was alone. There was nobody around. You're talking about the richest people in the world. When Whitney Houston died, she was by herself.
That's deep, boy.
So you're talking about the richest people in the world, the most famous people in the world, all dead off of drugs and alone.
Yeah.
Had all the money in the world. They had access to everything they could get. So you got to have purpose in what you're doing, because your purpose will drive you to keep you going. You know what I'm saying? And you're not in it for certain reasons.
Right.
So that's what I just try to just stay focused on my purpose, because I see that there's no good thing in the fame thing.
Yep. Hey, T-Rex, what you think about that situation with Slime, Thug, man, Young Thug? Yeah, that's tough.
I think that, well, like I just said, we know who funds the music industry.
Okay.
We know where the money comes from that's funding everything. And as a rapper, sometimes, a lot of these rappers are in these gang affiliations, Bloods, Crips, or whatever. And these gangs are the ones that make them famous and who they are. You know, it be this gang money. You know, Cardi B a Blood. What do you think? What do you think? How she became? How they got all that money to put her up? So it's just like if you get in that way, and they say, well, why they get in and they just make the money and they get out? There's no getting out. They put you in there and you stuck in that cipher. You're stuck in that realm. So now you a music star and you making millions of dollars, but you still got, but like you still, you're still tied to these cliques and these gangs. And if you do the wrong thing, they'll take you down and bring up the next person in the crew.
Yeah. That's fact. T-Rex speaking
so
facts.
It's crazy, man. Like the music game isn't really much different than drug game.
Yeah. Pretty much.
You know?
T-Rex in the building, baby. All right. Got some questions for T-Rex, fam?
Yeah. What's the craziest thing you ever seen?
Oh, Jesus.
Man.
I can't tell you that.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, facts. Hey,
not on camera.
Oh, yeah, we plead the fifth on the stream. Okay. Tap in. Hey,
what video call we get off of here and I'll tell you.
Okay, yeah, we definitely gotta get your number, man.
Nah, but yeah, y'all cool, man. We're gonna be friends now. I'm always in Charlotte. I'm always in Charlotte. I was supposed to be in a concert in Charlotte last weekend, but just didn't happen. But I'm always in Charlotte.
Oh yeah, tap in, man. Let's get it.
Okay.
Hey, what's some good shows you watching right now in 2022?
You know what? I don't watch TV, man.
Okay.
This is all I watch.
What's that? News. Yeah, everybody
know me. My TV, my channel, it stays on CNN. And I'm gonna tell you this. I used to be like heavy in the shows and TV and all of that, but for some reason I'm just not interested no more. Like 24 hours a day. Everybody know me. It's on CNN. You know, like if the awards or something come on, or something like that come on. Like Sunday, Mary J. Blige. Y'all know I'm in love with Mary J. Blige. She's getting the Icon Award. Okay. So I'm definitely gonna be tuned into that. I just did a remix to one of her records too. Good Morning Gorgeous.
Wow! Come on, boy. Let's get that. I told you. All right. Hey, listen. What's the radio station you working with out there too? What's that?
Well, you know what? Right? I dib and dabble a host, but my best friend, even though I'm in the gospel film, like the hip hop, I'm like tied heavy into the hip hop crowd. And my best friend is DJ Trace. I don't know if y'all heard of DJ Trace. Okay. But DJ Trace is like one of the hottest up and coming DJs in New York City. He got a spot at Hot 97. You know, he got his own station out here, and me and him team up together, and we do a lot of things. So, I do a lot with DJ Trace. Pick up the DJ Trace.
Come on, man.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, me, Trace, we got a concert coming up next month here in New York. Y'all heard of Graf, the rapper Graf? From Love and Hip Hop, heavy in the streets. Graf. Good. I got a concert coming up with him next month. Yeah.
Hey, look, you're gonna be our bridge, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I ain't playing.
Yeah, I gotta get down there, man, in person.
We coming up there.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, we got some people we talking to out there, man. This guy by the name of Ryan. The Ryan Show. I don't know if you heard of him, but he's based out of New York. So we trying to, we already in talks, man. We gonna come out there soon.
Oh, okay, that's dope. Yeah.
Thanks.
So I'm heavy tied into the hip hop community, man. I love hip hop, and I wasn't about to let it go because, church people tell me I was going to hell. It was like, no, that can't be true.
Hey, but listen, being at the top of the levels you've been at, you see what I'm saying, in New York, how can our Southern artists get their music heard, man? As far as getting it to the Chicago's, the New Yorks, the Calis, you see what I'm saying? Just our artists in North Carolina, just the Southern, the South.
I mean, everything is money, man, these days.
Yeah.
The reason why my record, and that's something you ain't supposed to be talking about publicly.
Okay.
But you gotta have a budget. You like with my record, I went and it's guys that their career they major in making your record a hit on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of artists think, oh, I'm gonna put this record out and it's going to the top, and it's just like, no, it's not. Like that's what separates artists, major artists from indie artists is money. The labels are like a bank loan.
Okay.
What they do is they just loan you all these thousands and thousands of dollars up front.
Yep.
So that everything can get paid for that you need to get paid for. And that's what keeps a lot of indie artists from getting what they need to get is they just don't have the money. So you go find one of those guys that is great at making records hits on the radio. You find out what you need to give them.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a great song, if it's a good song and he's willing to work it, you give him that fee, they'll make it what it needs to be made.
That's it, baby. All right, talk to him.
Right.
Yeah.
You got a favorite New York team out there, man? Well, what's that right there? Well, that's just the hat. That's the fit.
Yeah. Nah, man, I like all New York teams. The Giants, the Mets, the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? I like them all. I used to play baseball. I was a baseball player, and I thought that's what I was going to be, a professional baseball player. But once I got in the streets, and that was done with that.
That's it. Okay. It's all good. All right. Hey, what advice can you give to the youth, man? You know what I mean? That's following in your footsteps, man.
Advice, man, I would just say, first of all, get to know God and have your own relationship with Him. Don't base your relationship off with God or with what somebody else is telling you or how somebody else feel. I always tell people I got my own relationship with Him.
Mm-hmm.
Mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Me and Him got this thing worked out. You can't tell me how I'm supposed to be living, what I'm supposed to be doing, because we all got issues. We all got stuff. And what they do is they try to make certain sins bigger than other sins.
Okay.
When all sins is the same.
Right. That's why they say don't judge nobody.
Right.
A cigarette smoker and a prostitute, that's the same sin. Just because she's prostitute and you smoke cigarettes, that don't make her worse than you because he don't look at any sin bigger than any sin.
Right.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's tough.
Somebody that you might smoke weed, but somebody might eat too much. Gluttony and smoking, it's all the same. Like it's bigger sins than anything. So we don't really have the right to judge nobody on what they doing because you doing something too. It might not be what they doing, but in God's eyes, it's all still the same. So
man, that's tough.
We gotta love everybody, man. You gotta love everybody. Get your own relationship with God, and just let Him guide you. Don't really. I always like to listen to people if they give me advice, because I'm a listener. But then at the same time, you got to have your own mind and your own relationship with them too, because people will take you far out somewhere and leave you there. Right. So that's really just what I got to say, man. Just and be consistent.
Yes.
I've learned that consistency wins.
Yeah.
Now this is 20 years for me now, and I'm just now not saying this. I don't want to discourage nobody. I'm saying it's gonna take anybody 20 years, but because of me being consistent, I'm just now starting to see everything that I felt that was gonna happen is just now starting to happen, all because of me just being consistent, even when it didn't look right. Yeah, even when it looked like it wasn't gonna happen, I still was being consistent. I still was working. Still was out here working. And the rabbit always catches up with the turtle eventually.
Yeah.
That's it, man. All right.
You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, I ain't in no rush, because those same rabbits that flew up, now I see them coming back down, and now I'm slowly passing them, so
crazy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just take your time, man, and be consistent. Have that relationship with God, and just work hard, man. Love everybody.
Yeah.
And be humble and listen.
That's
a lot of these new artists, these young guys, they know so much. You can't tell them nothing, And me growing up, like I grew up in the Hit Factory. Like I grew up when I don't know if y'all remember the Hit Factory. The Hit Factory was a studio here in New York that everybody worked at. And I used to just go in there and hours and hours just sit and listen and learn and watch. Not so opinionated and not so much to say all the time, especially with people that got way more experience than me. So even if you don't agree, listen. Sometimes I'll be like, nah, that ain't right. And then I'm listening though. And then it'll hit me a few days later, like, you know what? He was right. So be humble, listen, have that relationship with God, and be consistent. And he'll work it out.
That's it. All right. Hey, tell us who you do this for when you wake up every day, T-Rex.
What do I do before I wake up every day?
Who do you do this for?
Who do I do this for?
Yeah.
God.
Yep. Yep.
He's first, man. When I die, it's just gonna be me and him.
Hey, you know what? It's crazy. You're the first person that gave me that answer on the podcast, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's dope right there, too. That's the first person that Yeah. Shout out to T-Rex.
When we die, bro, it's just gonna be me, you, and him.
Yep.
He ain't gonna care about. You can't be talking about what my mama did or my friend. You gonna be like, nah, what did you do?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big.
And that's the one thing I fear. Dying and not and having to look him in the face and not have done what he told me to do.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think God is a little more loving and a little more understanding than people think.
Yeah.
In the Bible, they talk about he didn't even hang around church people.
Exactly.
It said when you seen God hanging out, he was hanging on the streets with everybody else. He didn't hang around people that was in the church and the holy people. He couldn't stand hanging around them people.
Exactly.
So he's way more loving and understanding. God is not sitting up in heaven right now waiting on you to do bad so that he can run down here and scold you. That's not not that type of God.
Right.
He waiting for you to mess
So yeah.
That's it, baby. Hey, this is I Am Hip Hop Mag, Sports Betters Media. T-Rex, where can we find you at on all platforms?
Yes, I'm on Instagram, Kingrngtrex, and I got Kingrngtrex from T.I. I was nominated for this award show, and people start hitting me like, yo, T.I. is promoting you on his Facebook page. So he's on his Facebook page going, I need all my people to go and vote for my boy T-Rex. And I was just like, that's so much love. Like this cat don't even know who I am. And then he started making other posts. He started calling me the king of R&G. T.I. did. So that's why I started calling myself. I said, you know what? I'm running with that. I'm the king. The king said I'm the king.
That's it. That's it. Hey, T-Rex in the building, man. All right, I am hip hop, man. Sports Betters Media, the package out on all platforms coming soon. All right. Good having you, T.
Love y'all, man. Hit me up, bro.
Big love, boy.
That's it.
Good love. Good love.
That's good. That's fine. All right. Yes, yes,
Shit,
bro. Yes.
That shit was like 30 minutes.